It's actually not the most important thing right now for the public to recognize that Biden is a terrible president. It's not the most effective thing to simply convince people that Biden has made their wages go down and their cost of living go up, that he has gotten us into this forever war, again, Ukraine versus Russia, that he has presided over this crisis, this impending crisis at the border, that he sacrificed Afghanistan back to the Taliban and lost over a dozen American lives. Like, we all know this. We know this. The American people who are going to turn out to vote in 2024 know all of this. But just like 2022, it's not just a matter of whether you convince people that they don't like Biden. People don't like Biden, and they didn't before the midterm elections in 2022. That we're good on. The two things that Republicans need to focus on, instead of just sitting back on their heels and being like, oh, phew, it looks like we're up by 7 points or whatever it is in this poll. That means we have some cushion here. We're just going to ride to victory in this election based on the fact that people don't like Biden. You mark my words right now. If Republicans do that, if Republicans sit back and count on just voter dissatisfaction with Biden as the number one reason why they think they're going to win in 2024, Republicans will lose in 2024. That's simply the facts of the matter. Because what's going to make the biggest difference is the get out the vote efforts. Republicans, even if we have won public opinion, are not going to be able to compete with an apparatus built by the Democratic Party that is built on universal mail-in ballots sent to everyone, not just requested as an absentee, but sent to everyone. Drop boxes that are placed around cities that are unmanned, that anybody can take through ballot harvesting, can take ballots to. We are not going to be able to compete when the Democrats have these, they call them get out the vote operations, but these targeted voter collection drives where they identify a demographic of people that they think will vote Democrat and then go seek out, go recruit, go fishing for those votes and then deliver them. If Democrats do that and Republicans don't, then Republicans are going to lose. That's what happened in 2022. It's partially what happened in 2020. And moreover, just because a voter, and this is something that Republicans from top to bottom don't recognize because we reject the false allegations of the left, which we should. But voters that are dissatisfied, voters who are dissatisfied with Joe Biden's performance, voters who recognize that Joe Biden has been detrimental to our financial system and our country, that doesn't mean that they're willing to vote Republican. It's not this binary decision that Republicans typically assume that it is. It's not a binary decision where a voter says, you know what, I voted for Joe Biden in 2020, but now I'm really dissatisfied, so I'm going to take my vote away from him and give it to the Republican because the Republican is offering me something better. No. That's not what happens. It's really not a binary situation here where Democrats who voted for Joe Biden but have become dissatisfied with Joe Biden's performance as president will, because of that dissatisfaction, switch their vote to Republican. That's not how it works. They may not vote. They may sit it out. They may vote for a third party. They may still vote for Biden. But Republicans oftentimes don't understand the mental and pseudo-moral hurdle that Democrat voters must climb over in order to even get themselves to vote for a Republican candidate. Because think about it. When the FBI calls you a domestic extremist, how does that make you feel? Probably kind of laugh, right? Like you're horrified. It's a little bit scary because the FBI has power. They can weaponize the federal government to target you. But at the end of the day, you're not worried that that's true. You're not like personally offended. You're not really insulted. You're more just righteously indignant because it's an abuse of power, right? Or think about when the left calls you a racist because you voted for Donald Trump. Again, you might feel stung because it's a false allegation, but you feel stung because the allegation is false. You don't feel stung because you worry that you are a racist. You know you're not a racist, and you know that voting for Trump doesn't make you a racist. So you and I have grown this very thick skin where it just kind of doesn't bother us when the left calls us a name. Like, sure, call me a transphobe, a homophobe, a racist, a sexist, a bigot, hateful, an extremist, a terrorist, whatever, a basket of deplorables. We kind of just laugh because it's so absurd. It's so hyperbolic that it just doesn't seem real to us. It doesn't impact our self-image. It certainly doesn't change the way that we view politics and the way that we are committed to reality. That's our worldview. And it's something that we should be very proud of. It's something that we've had to cultivate as a party, cultivate as activists, because the left has become so nasty in the way that they attack us. But not everyone is as practiced in this deflection as we are. In fact, the majority of the American people who aren't necessarily the political nerds that we are, who haven't developed this thick skin based on decades of false allegations that just, whatever, don't bother us anymore, they can't bring themselves to vote for Republican because the Republican brand has been so tarnished in pop culture. I'm talking about in music, in Hollywood, even country music at this point, right? In Hollywood, in music, on TikTok, politically from Democrats, people have been told over and over and over that they are bad people if they vote Republican. That the very idea of what the Republican Party stands for is tinged with racism, is tinged with bigotry, is tinged with hatred. And most people in our country are good people. We are all created with an innate, human nature that makes us want to be good to other people, do good for other people. And so the idea of joining a coalition or casting a vote for a party that they've been told over and over and over and over is bad for reasons that are specific. Not just Republicans are bad, but Republicans are racist. They perpetuate white supremacy. They're bigoted. They hate gay people. They want trans kids to die of suicide. These things impact human nature, impact people's ability to transfer that vote from Biden, even though they're dissatisfied with Biden, and cast that vote for a Republican instead. And Republicans from the top, I'm talking the RNC and elected members of Congress, elected members of the Senate, all of the super PACs that fund advertisements and initiatives, think tanks, activist organizations, nonprofits, whatever you want to call this enormous Republican apparatus, don't recognize that voters are not simply engaging in this binary choice where if we can just convince them that they're not satisfied with Joe Biden, that it'll flip it right over to Donald Trump. That's not the way it works unless we engage in an aggressive PR campaign that rebrands Republican values as the reality that they are, which is not bigoted, not hateful, not homophobic, not racist, none of that. It values human life. It elevates human prosperity. It promotes human flourishing. It's inclusive, like the melting pot our country was intended to be. Hi guys, it's Liz Wheeler. Don't forget to watch my show, The Liz Wheeler Show, every night at 7 p.m. on the First TV. You can download the free First TV app, or you can visit thefirsttv.com/Liz and start watching today.